Are you like me and you're just discovering these stories about Bishop T.D. Jakes, P. Diddy, and Cassie, and you're equally as shocked as I am? Are you like me and you've been listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes for maybe 10, 15, 20 years and you're shocked? Why is it we are always shocked by these stories? They literally happen every single day in front of us, and yet we still have a hard time believing it. There is a reason why child sex trafficking continues, because many times there are major players involved. There are major people that are participating in this and covering it up. And so we can't end it. There are people willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to hurt and abuse children. And if you think this is a political issue, you're gravely mistaken. This is not a political matter. This is a heart matter. This is pure evil, actually. And just imagine what Cassie had to go through, bringing out all of these high-profile people and videos and having to turn the information over to the FBI. Do you imagine the fear she must be having right now? Do you imagine just experiencing the abuse and the hurt that she has had to go through and just trying to get away from her ex-husband? This is very scary. This might be what contributed to Kim Porter's death. We don't know. There might be an investigation, I'm not sure. But these things happen every day, and it's very sad. The thought of a major, well-known international pastor being involved in this sort of a sex scandal, evil, while promoting the Lord at the same time is just horrific. And it's actually one of the reasons why I don't go around, preaching a lot, saying God, 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 because I've been in churches where they've covered up this kind of sexual abuse and actually wanted to punish the victims and not the perpetrators. And I guess it happens in every church, not just organized religion, not just the Catholic Church or Jehovah's Witness, but it seems to be happening everywhere. And I'm really sad for the families involved in this situation. For somebody who's married, who's been married for, I think, over 3 decades, maybe longer, and to be coming out as being homosexual is really, really scary. Because you don't even know who you're marrying sometimes, and it looks like the more high profile your life becomes, the more the cover-up continues. And my heart really breaks for the children involved in this situation, the young boys that were affected by this sort of abuse and cruelty. And we really need to band together during this time. We need to not just believe religious leaders at face value. We need to just investigate and see, and not assume that this person is like above God and that they have no fault, nothing wrong. But to me, the child sexual abuse issues are deeper than just a heart matter, because that makes you're like literally taking advantage of other people and you have no regard, and you're using your power to hurt others. And that really God is going to hold you accountable for. I'm heartbroken like everybody else. I've been listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes for many years, so we don't know what the truth is at this point. Right now, we're all just hearing stories, we're seeing videos, we're hearing things, but it is pretty scary. And you have to really rethink who you're believing in, what you're believing in. And for those of you whose children are the victims of this kind of behavior, you need to believe in your children. There's a reason why I teach single parents, because single parents are typically the targets of this kind of thing. And you really have to believe in your kids. I don't care how high profile the person is. I don't care how much money they have. You have to take the side of your children and keep them safe. There's rumors that Bishop T.D. Jakes gave out hush money to some of these families, and the families received it. And now they don't have a relationship with their children. So you're going to risk losing your children so that you can have a few extra dollars in your bank account. It's actually going to affect your heart as well if you choose to go that path. This is disheartening. And I honestly don't think this is going to be the end. There's going to probably be a lot more names than you believe. Harvey Weinstein, all these different cases. Like it's a time where whatever you've done in the dark, it is definitely coming out in the light. And it's being exposed in major ways worldwide. We're all finding out about these things. I hope and pray that it's not true. But at this point, who knows? I'm on the side of the children. I'm on the side of the single parents. I'm encouraging you not to follow Christian leaders or any religion blindly. Don't just give your children to people. Many times I did the same thing. I believed that because you were a Christian, you were suddenly this wonderful person. And more bad things have probably happened to my children because of that belief system. And I know it's hard. I know maybe you've been part of a church for years and just suddenly have to leave or separate from that. That's tough. Something especially your children have grown up in. But you have to do it. You can't be part of something where they're violating children or violating anybody for that matter. Even violating their vows to their spouse. I mean, how can you really trust what this person says? My prayers are for the children. My prayers are for the single parents. I pray that all of you get some clarity. We get some truth out of this situation. Obviously, if we start seeing videos surfacing about things happening at some kind of parties, then, you have the truth right in front of you. So I'm going to ask you to keep an open mind. If you see the truth, you see something, you're going to just have to accept the reality of the situation. It's odd for that kind of thing to be put out there about somebody and it typically not be true. So we want to wait and see. We want to get some more information. This is going to definitely taint Bishop T.D. Jakes' legacy. P. Diddy's already been affected by many of these things. I know many corporations are no longer working with him. So be on the side of the children, I would say, always. Help those you can help. Single parents, be willing to walk away from stuff that perhaps you've been part of for a long time. Sometimes they say the devil sometimes is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he can appear to be good when he actually isn't. And sometimes people are portraying an image to us in the public that is not true. I would encourage all of you to go see the movie Sound of Freedom and recognize this stuff is really happening. There are powerful, powerful people involved, very wealthy people that are willing to participate in the child sex trafficking trade. It is not a business, but it's making billions of dollars. And people are willing to violate and take advantage of children for their own sexual deviance. And single parents, you cannot allow that to happen. You cannot allow people to take advantage of your children for money or for any other reason. Sonia Gallion-Comunica here, SoniaGallionComunica.com, and the author of 10 Things I Wish I Knew as a Single Parent, where we talk about all things single parents. And our goal is to make kids safe by educating their parents about what you should do. Sometimes the parents are the problem because they will not do what is right for their children. You have a duty to do what's right for your children and to not put them in harm's way, to keep them safe. If you hear about misdoing, something going wrong in a church, remove them from that religious organization. I don't care how big it is. Bring them somewhere else. But recognize this can happen anywhere. This can happen at the Boys and Girls Club. This can happen in any organization. So don't just blindly give your children to somebody. Don't allow them to be alone with adults. Sometimes don't even allow them to be alone with children, other children. You really need to be paying attention to your family and what's happening. And working too much, I talk about this in my book, 10 Things I Wish I Knew as a Single Parent. Working too much forces you to put your children in unsafe situations, and you cannot put them in unsafe situations, and you cannot just blindly trust people either. I hope that you will pay attention to what we're all learning right now and discovering about some of these very powerful people and what they're doing to children and what how they're violating their marriage vows. There's this sort of underground group of people who are like closet homosexuals. And I wish they would just come out and tell people. You're getting married. People don't know that you have this sort of behavior going on. And now you're having children with them and you're probably embarrassed. You don't want to tell anybody. I mean, it becomes a whole big deal. When if you just would have told somebody, just would have told people and come out and been honest. Sonia Gallion-Comunica here. I hope this helps you. We'll be talking more and more about this over the next few days.